Hey there, welcome to another episode of Song and a Chat with your host, Pascoe. That'll be me, but this week it's a bit different. And I'm just doing a little sneaky little thing to start with where I'm going to introduce my friend Paul Dredge, co-songwriter, good old Dredgy, Paul Dredge. And first of all, we've got to locate him from New Zealand. Hang on, he's here somewhere. I've got another camera. Oh, there we are. Yeah, we're videoing this week again. Bit of fun. And hang on, zooming in here and... Oh, yes indeed. All right. Hey there, Digger. Hey there. Hang on. We got it. Okay, hi there, and welcome to another episode of Song and a Chat. Today, I've got my old mate Digger, Paul Dredge from Palmerston North in New Zealand, happening here on this very small screen, which I will enlarge like this. Woo, don't get too excited, Digger. How you doing, mate?
All good, very good. Lockdown though.
Yeah, mate. We both locked down. We're getting used to being separated from each other by that mighty Tasman, unfortunately. I think we'll get there, eh?
Yeah, we can do it. Yep. So they can dig a channel underneath the English Channel. If they can dig a tunnel under there, then surely we could do it.
I think it's a good idea. What else is going on? We've got the All Blacks coming up, of course. Those people who are into rugby go, ooh. Antennae on. Those people not so much into rugby go, what? But it's the third test, isn't it, happening on Sunday. What do you reckon's going to happen there, Digger?
Well, three key players not going to be able to make it, so they've stayed in New Zealand. So Aaron Smith, Richie Mo'unga, and one of the forwards. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I guess you just never know. It's happened before where Australia's bounced back after being thrashed, so could happen.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? And hats off to sportsmen doing what they. It's a matter of choice, isn't it? Whether you go and you think, okay, I'm going to play this game, or it's just a game. I'm not going to stay home. I don't actually know the reasons for those people not going, but everyone's got their reasons, and everyone's got a different take on how much freedom we should all have. And it's kind of delicately poised here in Melbourne as far as that sort of thing goes, the whole COVID goes. And I think the answer is we've got to be gentle with each other and acknowledge everyone's got different ideas. For me, I'm part of society. I'm playing the game and staying at home, happy to do that. And we'll just see how it goes, eh?
Yeah.
Interesting, isn't it? Okay, just going back in time here now, Digger, but not as far as you think, because my favourite time with an All Black was this. I was playing at the Wairaki Resort, where we just used to play music together, right? I was playing one night, and the All Blacks all walked in. Suddenly I felt like I was about this tall, and these big, giant All Blacks all walked in. And I was singing away, and Michael Jones, my favourite All Black, came up, and he said, Pete, do you think you can play Easy by Lionel Richie? I think I can, Mr. Jones. Woohoo! And he sat on the seat next to me, and we're going, 'cause I'm easy. It was brilliant. How's that? That was a while ago now.
He was a bit of a legend, Michael Jones.
Lovely man too, really nice guy. I mean, how cool was that? Just be laid back enough. Someone he'd never met before in his life, go and sit at the piano and sing a song. So that's all good. Okay, well, what we are here for today is to look at a song that we not only once sung together, Paul Dredge and I, but to look at how we wrote it. Oh, one more thing. Just before we do that, I want to give a little promo, man. Check out Paul Dredge Music YouTube, and there's a really lovely version of You're My Home by Billy Joel that Paul's done on the guitar and singing outside, and I just thought it was a great version, man. It was really cool. Love the Tuies too.
Yeah, thanks for that. They certainly joined in.
They sure did. I thought it was a nice mellow version, eh? It was really good. Come across well on guitar and voice, eh?
Yeah, it's as I tend to do. I transposed it down a couple of steps, and
yeah, I think it's a good idea. Trying a song with a different instrument. So if you can, and you're like Paul, who can play all these different instruments really amazingly well, like drums and bass, and guitar and piano and. Was it cello? Anything else? Harmonica, tap dances mightily, all those sorts of things. If you're one of those people, then of course you're inclined to trying different instruments. Maybe just try it on the ukulele as well. I think I might try the ukulele next, Digger. What are my chances? Can I do it?
Why not, mate? Go for it.
Speaking of which, I think we will. Let's get on to the topic of the day, which is a song called Anticipation and Longing. And I see it was written by the words myself and the music by myself and Digger here, Paul Dredge. And what we're going to do, I think, Paul, is we'll talk just a little bit, and pretty soon we'll roll it. We'll have a listen to get in the zone, get into the song, and sort of see what memories it sort of brings back for us. Because this was quite some time ago, 1992, I think. So what does that make us? We're about 21 now, aren't we? So we must have been about 4 when we wrote this. The years go by, and yet we look so young. Hey, should we roll the song, Digger? Should we just play it? Is that a good idea or what?
Sure, why not?
Or is there any thoughts that you've got just before we do about what you're expecting to hear? You remember the song, obviously.
Look, it's it brings back lots of memories. One of the things that I seem to recall is that, to be brutally honest, I wasn't that impressed with my guitar solo. So listen out for that.
Oh, he's a harsh critic. Everyone's a harsh critic of your own self, and fair enough. Look, I think it's good. There's a bar to aim for, as a musician and that sort of thing. But it's good to be critical of yourself, but not dismiss your own creative work. And I don't think Paul was doing that there too much. Do you? No, but it's good.
I would do it differently now, but that's how I guess everything rolls. When you finish something, you can always come back to it and think, well, I think if I was going to do that again, I'd probably do this,
Look, absolutely, and I've thought that about every single song I've ever written and recorded, or any piece of art, and I think it's called being human, eh? We try and work on that. Yeah. Okay, I think we have reached the point in time where it is time, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, to roll it. Here we go. Anticipation and longing.
Rolling.
Tied up in the fury of business, complications and black afternoons, piled up in the hallway. Are you still there? Do you still care? Do you still count the days? Anticipation and longing. Fed up with weeks of nothing, communications and strange phone calls, putting up with the pressure. Are you still there? Do you still care? Do you still count the days? Anticipation and longing. Frozen rain signals another last summer, and we wait for the day that you're here to stay. Are you still there? Do you still care? Do you still count the days? Anticipation and longing. Anticipation and longing. Are you still there? Do you still care? Do you still count the days? Anticipation and longing, longing. Anticipation and longing. Anticipation and longing.
Hot in there, is it?
Anticipation and longing.
I gotta turn that thing off. Gordon Bennett, mate, that was hot in my headphones, mate. She was all go, I couldn't go. It took me straight back to way back in time, not as far as when we recorded the song I wrote it, but just quickly as an aside, it reminded me after recording a couple of weeks of advertisements, commercials, radio commercials in Hamilton, New Zealand, back in Palmerston North, where I'm from and where Digger's from, XSFM decided it was a really good idea to hire Pete Pascoe for 2 weeks to record some radio commercials. And what happened is the announcers come from on air, and they do a voiceover with some music. 2 things, quite simple, Digger. 2 things. And I still remember poor old John Hogan, sorry mate, he came through to announce this thing, and I gave him this mighty great massive amount of headphones feedback, and he threw his headphones on the ground. And he gave me the filthiest look. So, sorry, John. He's a good mate. Oh, poor old John, mate. So there you go, Digger. All right, let's get back to the thing at hand, which is anticipation longing. How'd that go for you, mate?
Yeah, very nostalgic. It was great. Brings me right back to, especially recording it. I can remember that very vividly. With good friend Earl Pollard on the drum and Michelle Pickett. It was in Z at the studio there.
Yeah, it was an amazing time. In fact, I would go so far for me as to say formative for me, because it was the first time in a major studio, kind of for us both, eh? Yeah. And it just completely blew me away, because the experience was exactly as I hoped it would be. It was such good fun, eh? How are those harmonies, eh? Let's take a moment to blow our own trumpet. Not bad, come on.
Yes, I think particularly Michelle's harmonies very, very nice. I was just trying to think before. I've forgotten a lot of what I was doing, but I was somewhere in there, I'm sure.
Absolutely. In fact, I can show you. I've got some notes written down here about it. Okay, so what we're going to do is a little bit different today. This is normally where I'd sort of dive into the lyrics. We'll go there briefly, but maybe I'll go into that a bit more detail. But I want to make the most of Paul being here for a change. Make some change from my voice for you all. Hey, is it not time, Digger, that I should have said hi there and welcome? Did I say hi there and welcome?
I can't remember. Let's just assume you did. You can edit that out.
I can edit that in. You're right, man. Well, look, if this is your first time here listening to this podcast, you're wondering what on earth is going on. This is the second time I've videoed it, and instead of it just being audio, so I'm somewhat distracted, and for that I apologise a little bit, but not too much, because like a madman, I've thrown it all together at the last minute. I was just talking in the sun to Digger earlier. I said, we touched on the idea of doing an interview, and I said, well, right, let's do it in an hour's time. So I've sort of thrown it all together, and I've got Paul's mic up next to it. It's all very lo-fi and good fun. Enough of the technical stuff. Welcome along. If you're still here, it's obviously a good sign. Good sign, I'm still here. Are you still there, Digger?
No, this is a puppet.
like a Muppet? I'm not even going to go there. Righto, here we go. So the lyrics. Are you still there, Digger? Because that's what the lyrics say. There's no Digger there. Oh, nice to segue. Oh, sorry.
Do I still care?
This is great. Hang on. Do you still count the days?
Anticipation and longing.
Oh, tied up in a fury of business.
Oh, you want me to continue?
I wouldn't mind. Actually, I wouldn't mind. So, away you go. And go.
Complications and black afternoons.
Pile up in the hallway. And that goes to, are you still there? Okay. Fed up with weeks of nothing.
Communications and strange phone calls.
Putting up with the pressure. And the frozen rain signals.
Another lost summer.
And we wait for the day.
That you're here to stay.
I reckon Paul's got a great voice. He's a great poet as well. You want to, under Paul Dredge Poetic Ramblings, am I correct?
I do like to ramble.
Yeah, he's got a couple of books out, excellent books, and also he got a blog, and the poems go up there regularly. So I want to check out some of Paul's poems. Talk it up, Paul. Where can we find you?
Paul's Poetic Ramblings. That's me.
All right, cool. I'll put the link online. There's an extra $200 for that, mate.
Yeah, thank you. That's appreciated. You just tell me.
Generous soul, are they? Okay, that was good fun doing that backwards and forwards between the lyrics. Where did the lyrics come from? Well, they came from me. Look, this is one of those songs, mate. Paul used to approach me sort of almost with a sense of doom at this stage of my life when he was asking him if I had any more lyrics, because often there were a sort of, oh, baby, I miss you sort of one coming. You just kind of knew that, didn't you, Digger, at that stage of my life?
There was a theme. And it was for a prolific songwriter. There were an amazing amount of lyrics produced on that theme.
Yeah, I used to sort of plough them out, and which I did one night. I wrote this down. Heartfield, plough them out. Plough them out. I love writing lyrics, and I enjoy writing quickly. That's the way I work. I used to write the words at night, and I'd go to bed and look at them in the morning, and often I'd look at it and go, okay, is this a Pete and Paul song, Pete Pascoe, Paul Dredge song, or is this a Pete Pascoe one? This one I thought straight away, hang on, what's going on there? Still rolling? Why did that video stop? Don't you love technology? So yeah, people just listening in to the podcast realise now there is going to be a sense of focus on the audio for which you will be very happy about. Okay, it was good fun while it lasted, Digger. Back to the lyrics. Yes, I wrote the lyrics, and as a songwriter, here's a tip. I reckon, what do you think, Paul? You can get a bit wordy, can't you? And sometimes less is more. Would you agree with that, man?
Yeah, for sure, because often the thing that you remember as a listener is that sort of hook that gets repeated, and so 700 verses isn't always required.
Yeah, and keeping the chorus simple, eh?
Yeah, repetition.
Yeah, and Paul was really good for me like that. He used to sort of say, make the chorus simple, and it was good. You learn so much from each other. I can't sort of, say how strongly I feel about this. You learn, I reckon, by playing in bands with other musicians, and it just takes you up to another level. What do you think? What do you think about that, Diggo?
Yeah, I guess you don't realise it at the time, but it's flying miles, isn't it? Every time you pick up a guitar, every time you sing a song, every time you do a new gig, it's all experience, and it's going into making you who you are.
Yeah, your level of expectation of what you expect of yourself without putting too much pressure on, because you're creative and it's the land of mistakes and it's all welcome. But then there comes another level when you start performing together, and mistakes aren't quite so welcome, but we're all human, we do them. But the act of professionalism, every time you do it, you learn to sort of not so much hide your mistakes, but the mistakes become less, sort of like rather than this. Don't do too many of those live. Well, unless you're me. No, I do occasionally. But you learn to put them and make an arrangement up on the spot a little bit, eh? Just sort of, something like that happens.
Yeah, because of course, on a live gig, you are going to make mistakes. There's no doubt about it. Even recording, sometimes you just go with a happy mistake, that you just go with it, and often it can work.
Yeah, absolutely. On that note of being not afraid to make mistakes and stuff, my memory of this song is one of those ones where I said, Paul, okay, Digger, I've got these lyrics. We were sitting in the old lounge, and probably winter in the Manawatu, not really worth going out trout fishing. Right, let's write some songs, man. Okay, what have you got? Okay, I've got this one called Anticipation and Longing. And I've got a feeling it's kind of an uppish sort of, I don't know, Dave Dobbin, sort of Crosby, Stills and Nashy kind of thing. Is that something along those lines? Do you think I might have said that, Paul, or what?
Yeah, I think so. And that's generally the case. You'd sort of give me a bit of a brief on how you sort of felt about it, but then I would just start playing something, and usually whatever it was, you would say, yeah, do more of that. And then we would just roll from there,
Yeah.
Because that was a very quick process. We would have finished that, very, very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Not to be clever, but that's just the way we both happen. I think that's why we clicked creatively, and why we still click creatively, and in other respects. Been a long lot of years into friendship, and a long lot of years working together like this. Creative process quickly happens to suit us both. It's a bit like theatre sports, I think. Yeah, I think I love theatre sports when they don't block each other. Someone's got something to say. They don't go, mate, no, look, I don't think that's quite right. I don't think you want to do that chorus this way. But we can generally sort of suggest things, Hello, there's a duck. Hear that duck? That's handy. That's my sister. Hi, Pete, do you have a chance to chat now? No, Barbara, I don't. What do you got to say to Barbara, Paul?
Hey, Barb.
Hey, all right. Hi, Paul. She's going to kill me for this, you know that, yeah? Hey, that's good, though.
Yeah, she'll enjoy it. She'll enjoy it. She's now entered the podcast.
Absolutely, unintentionally. And look, I could tell another story about XSFM. Do you think I should? I probably will. I probably shouldn't be saying brand names on here, but too late. It's out of the bag. Cat's out of the bag. Speaking of cat, just briefly here, when I was doing those commercials, I was recording them. Breakfast announcer Mike West came out and he said, Pete, have you got any funny Christmas stories? I need a funny Christmas story. As a matter of fact, I have. My sister Barb, 2 days ago, told this story where she walked up behind a cat and it's something sort of shiny and something sticking out of a cat's backside, for want of a bit of word. She went up and held it and pulled. This cat took off down the hallway and there's like 2 meters of tinsel came out of this cat. And so that is now immortalised on this podcast, and Mike West read that out. And mate, was I in a bit of trouble with Barb? Pretty much. Okay, how about I shut up? Do you want to kick in with what you kicked on that morning? Because I am there in my head, despite all of these other, where my mind zips to. I am now in your flat, because I visited your flat at the time. And away you go. Play a bit of guitar. What you gave me. Go on, hit it.
Yeah, so just very basic, yeah. Going over and over, you would have just said, yeah, keep it going, and started mumbling, incoherently, I suppose.
To which I was about to say, mate, I'd be going, are you still there? Rushman Ali, you still count the days? And then, anticipation in law, evening standard, something like that, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Wasn't it instant? It was like, okay, this mutual, yeah, we got something. Feel like we had a fish on, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And very, very early on, we were quite often thinking about harmonies. Just, I guess we were kind of, that was a lot of the deal in those days, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was about to say, absolutely. Straight away, early on, once I'd come up with that bit, and bear in mind, I had no idea about what Paul was doing on the neck of the guitar, because I don't play guitar. I wish I did, we touched on that, and didn't know what he's doing with the chords, so I'm just winging it, and then we come up with something, and straight away, we would lock into the harmonies, because we like that sort of Finn brother, Everly Brothers sort of, it's almost like no one's doing the lead, no one's doing the harmony. Both vocals are equally important, you reckon?
Yeah, it often was. This one, I guess, the verses are, solo. Yeah, the most important thing is singing. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't going to say that. No, not at all. It's the coolest thing, actually, on that note, in the harmonies. I think there's a few things happen when we first start recording. A, you hear the sound of your own voice and you go, that's it, end of story. Or else you get used to your voice. And then instantly you try and sing everyone's songs and you discover you can't actually sing like everyone's style. And everyone can sing Start Me Up by the Rolling Stones or Bridge Over Troubled Water. And I think it's really, really important, and Paul and I think both agree on this, you go with your own voice. And I think when you get 2 people going with your own voice, it becomes even more magic, don't you reckon?
Yeah, certainly. The sum of the parts, isn't it? That's what the songwriting is, a duo. Yeah, it worked really well because you added 2 people's input. Probably doesn't always work well for 2 people. I suppose you have to remember that not everyone's going to click, but if you click with somebody, 2 people's thoughts and ideas together works really well.
Yeah, cool. Speaking of how voices work really well together, I love a bridge. Oh, I love a good bridge. The bridge of this song, and I'll just roll it.
And the frozen rain signals another last summer, and we wait for the day that you're here to stay. Are you still there?
Love the harmonies in that part, how it came together. Again, with that third harmony from Michelle. Just in there, I think it was a really, really great idea. If you've got some around and you do 3-part harmonies, wow, you're really lucky. And boy, we were lucky. Michelle used to sing with us at the piano bar now and then. She'd just drop in. Most nights it was Paul and I playing piano and guitar. And we knocked off a lot of edges there, didn't we, on our playing. And that's a pretty rough way of saying we really developed a sound and a real trust in each other, which was there from the start. But I think all those gigs, there's almost no replacement sort of thing for a gig. It's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the 4 or 5 nights a week for a couple of years is a massive amount of gigs, isn't it? If you think about people who maybe play 1 gig a week or a couple of gigs a week together, that means we've done years of, I mean, literally, 20 years of gigs in 2 years, literally. It has a way of making things click and come together, or you kill each other, I suppose.
Yeah, those are years that are just precious times. Good stuff. So look, if you're thinking about gigging, you're thinking about songwriting, I say, look, get into it and just go with what you come up with. Keep working at it, keep chipping away, and and never stop. Just never stop, because you never know what's going to come up. We could talk like this for hours, couldn't we, Digger? But you know what? It's come up to the 30 minutes already. Mate, I've talked too much about All Blacks and now it's a good fun and this and that. But in a nutshell, you can hear the bits and pieces. I wonder if can you sing your harmony, Paul, on the bridge?
I'm just trying to remember.
And the frozen rain signals another last summer.
I can't remember really.
And we wait for the day
I think we did a little bit of unison here.
you're here to stay.
Yeah.
So folks, you know what's going on a mobile phone. You probably gathered that into the mic. So, hey, Digger, today has been an absolute pleasure interviewing you, old boy. Interviewing is wrong. We were sort of sharing an interview. Sure, I was staring along, my podcast, but it's let's my ball, my bat, all right? It's been a continuation of a great friendship. I think we're still okay on that after today. I think it absolutely depends how well I edit this up as to whether that friendship continues.
I'll be the goalkeeper.
All right, mate, you be the goalkeeper. Hey, it's been an absolute pleasure today, Digger. Thanks for coming on board. Hope you've enjoyed yourself. Well, welcome to Australia, people. How'd you like that, mate? Was that good for you?
It was excellent, yeah. Let's talk about it.
I cheated up for a bit of fun, and I'd sort of half forgotten about it there and dropped them in, and it had the desired effect, mainly because I actually knew they were coming, but man, they were loud in my ears. All good fun. And that's the joy of being in Australia. You get to hear some marvellous bird sounds like that. Actually, Paul, everybody in podcast land have been tuning in and enjoying the episodes each week. Thank you so much for doing that. This, of course, you realise, is Mr. Paul Dredge, who's been sending those marvellous bird calls. I say, Nigel, marvellous bird calls from New Zealand. Thank you, Digger.
That's a pleasure. I shall do so again.
Excellent. All right, we better wrap it up. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in. You enjoyed it okay, Digger?
Yep, excellent. No problem at all. Anytime.
Oh, marvellous. Well, on that note, I think that's an invitation to do more. Woohoo! Or not. Oh, that's cool. All right, well, I better wrap it up. You who what?
My harmonica saying goodbye.
Oh, do it again. We'll have to bring that into the show next week, I reckon, or whenever it's going to be. Next time we do another one, because that sounded good. Not sound good, people. It sounded great. Okay, mate, we'll catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in. See you, Digger. And everybody out there in podcast land, thank you so much for tuning in this week. It's been great. I've really enjoyed today's podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you've enjoyed it, there's plenty more where this came from. And looking forward to next week already. Hope you're having a fantastic week. And with that, it's good night from me, and it's
Good night from him.
fantastic. All right, love you, man. Catch you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you, Pete Pascoe and Paul Dredge and Digger. Actually, yeah, I'm going to give you the honour, mate. Come on, away you go, Digger. Go ahead.
Signing out.
Mate, he's a bit better than me. That's enough of that. All right, catch you next time, people. Bye-bye.
Anticipation and longing, longing. Anticipation and longing. Anticipation and longing.